Now, I'm going to talk to you about the pain and pleasure centers within your brain. And I'm going to talk, if you stay to the end, about how you can leverage these. Now, in medicine, the first year they say when you study it that you learn more new words than you would do if you were studying Russian. And this is not surprising. Words like hypertrophy, cell autophagy, ischemia, cerebral vascular accident, all these are new terms that you're unfamiliar with when you first enter medicine as an 18-year-old. And there's many more terms like this. So you can imagine by the end of 5 years, the amount of knowledge that you have to assimilate and to be able to work through and process and be able to reproduce is significantly vast. So at the end of 5 years, you have a final exam where you have to complete a written paper and go through everything that you've learned. And obviously the information is vast, so you spend a lot of time revising for this. Now, when I was earlier on in my career of learning, I'd learned to utilize different ways of working. Ironically, I'd always, after reading some research about learning, utilized what I now know is the Pomodoro technique, where I would revise for 25 minutes and have 5 minutes off with each block. And I'd stack these blocks off. And when it came to my finals, I was doing 8-hour a day of revision. But the way that I improved it was that I basically created rewards at the end. So I completed successfully the 8 hours without distraction. Then I got a reward. Now it was either playing computer games. So it wasn't socializing with my friends so much because they were just continually revising as well. And obviously people revise at different times. But the other rewards were I'd eat something I wanted to, go and do something I wanted, go to the gym, those sort of activities. So there was always a reward base at the end. Now, if you contrast this with what some people do, where they punish themselves at the end, so they feel they've not completed enough work, they feel that there's always something undone, they haven't necessarily planned what they're going to work on in that day, then it becomes obviously a very painful time of life for them, and they create a hugely painful environment, living in a pool of pain, where they're not good enough, they'll never go past the exam, and all this anxiety just builds stress on themselves, and it's purely generated by themselves, as opposed to what I was doing, where every day for me, I knew that I get a reward at the end of the day. So it creates a much better environment for learning. I'm excited to learn. I also had sub-rewards within individual things that I was doing, in the fact that I like to draw. So I would, when I was learning blocks of text, I would allow myself to draw images and diagrams, but only after I'd completed a certain amount of written text, which I found more dull. So you always have the choice about how you create the environment around you. And you can see that with this, you can either choose to create something that's enjoyable, much more pleasant, even though it is a very big task. You can create an environment that is just not pleasant to live in or be in. And this is how you improve your performance. So I hope that's been helpful for you. So the way to do it is obviously find something that you love doing and stick that reward at the end of a task that you don't enjoy. And that what happens over time is your brain associates the pleasant experience rather than the disdain of doing the task itself.